everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have the wrap up for my DC Documented. So I was able to purchase these albums. There was a sale at Michael's a while ago, probably about maybe 6 months ago or so, and they had a lot of these albums that are Becky Higgins albums on clearance for $5, and so I picked these up. I picked up a bunch of these, and I really think that that saying goes for kind of travel stuff. So all of my travel albums are in this style here, and so this one is my Washington DC album. So I want to show you guys the layouts that I did complete, and then there are a couple layouts that I didn't show on video. This is one of them. This is my layout for like the front page, so it is a single page layout. It just has a picture of Kevin and I in the car. So I did drive up to Washington from Florida to see him because he was in there for a business trip. He was there for 2 weeks, and I was able to drive up for the weekend. So I really like the fact that I had put like Saturday and Sunday here, and I put, you know, the July, and then I journaled down here at the bottom. So I really like this as a opening page. This layout does have a process video, so I won't go into great detail about it because I talked a lot about it in my video, but so I have the White House photos, and then the next page, these two pages are on the Crafty Maven getaway, so I will post a link to those as well. We have the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, and looking back, I really like both of these better than what I had planned for them. If you watched my videos at all, you would know that I made a huge mistake. So I really, looking back, I think that I like these better than what I originally had there. On the left side of this one is the National Mall, and this is the one that I think was originally the Washington Monument. So it looks like I need to put some more liquid adhesive down over there. So this one does not have a process video. It was just some random photos. I think sometimes when I get down to kind of the end and I'm done, I like to do these pocket pages because I just don't want to do a full layout for them. So we rode these, it's called the Capital Bike Share, and here's like one of the pictures of the bikes. So like you paid for the bike, and what was awesome was you paid for it for a certain amount of time, and then you would ride the bike to a new location. So we were able to tour all of DC on the bike, and when we got to the new location, we would dock the bikes in the docking station. So when we were actually visiting the monuments and the National Mall and all of that stuff, we weren't paying for the bikes during that time. So then when we were done, we would go back to the station, pick up a new bike. So I thought that was a really awesome way to kind of ride around the Washington area. So that was on the front side there. And then I had this just one photo of the Supreme Court. So I just did a small pocket there. This is where we had lunch, so I put that in there. And then this squirrel, which is it's a little white squirrel. I did some research. It is not an albino squirrel because it does have some color, so it's not quite albino. And then I had just picked up this postcard. We did not see the Jefferson Memorial when we were there, so I picked up a postcard. So at least I have that in my album, and it's, you know, obviously a postcard, so you know, it's not something that we actually saw. So that is that pocket page there. Then I have the U.S. Capitol. This is one of those that it just happened to be a single page layout is the way it landed, because what I did was I did the National Mall and the National Christmas Tree on the same video, and the National Christmas Tree ended up being my last page. So this one also doesn't have a video, so I'll show you guys a little bit more detail about that. So it has the U.S. Capitol building, and I like the fact that I did this way because the building is usually called the U.S. Capitol, but you know, the building word is in the title there as well. And then some just journaling down there at the bottom. So I have this layout again, like I said, doesn't have a process video. Then I have the National Gallery of Art. So we went to this one for two reasons. We wanted to see the Thinker. So we were able to see that sculpture. And then Kevin is a big Monet fan. Yes, Monet. And so we wanted to see a couple of his paintings because there was an area for him, and so it was really awesome. And if you watch Doctor Who at all and you've seen the Monet episode, it's a really amazing episode. I really love that episode and what Monet learns about himself. So I won't give any spoilers, but it's a good episode if you are a Doctor Who fan. This one has a process video as well with the chamber chair, and so I did the chamber chair and Fredericksburg in the same video, and then I added this little insert here. So this is at Chatham Manor, and these are some other photos from there. And I just didn't want to do a whole page layout on these, so I really like when I put the pocket page in. So these are both from the Chatham Manor, and I did those because those are what really stood out. So this is inside the manor, and then this is the like backyard of the manor. And so I also included this picture here because this is close to where Fredericksburg is and the Bloody Crossing and things like that. So wanted to go ahead and add those in. So that is that page there. And then we have this river. So this river is this river, the Bloody Crossing River. So you can go into Chatham Manor. You can go into Chatham Manor, and in the backyard you can see this sign here that says the Bloody Crossing, and then it talks about the river itself, and then you have to go to a different place to actually see the river. And so that's what we're doing here, is we're standing like alongside the river. So it was really awesome to see kind of two sides of the river, where the Bloody Crossing happened, and then actually to go down into the river and see the powerful current that is there, which is part of the Bloody Crossing. So lots of history involved in that. I don't know, are you guys history buffs? Do you like enjoy going and doing historical things? That's probably one of my favorite things to do when I am vacationing. I love to go and check out all of the different historical sites and see some of those. So that's that river. And then the Indian Punch Bowl. This one has a video as well. It talks about what the Indian Punch Bowl is. And this is just a really just different and neat thing, you know, just to see a hole in a rock in the middle of nowhere, and the fact that people were served drinks from it. So interesting. And then the last layout is my National Christmas Tree layout. I really thought that this one kind of fit better at the end because Christmas is at the end of the year, so it just kind of played well in my mind. Might not work for everybody, but in my mind it works. So that is my DC documented. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video series, and I am glad that I was able to give you guys a video a day so that you can get some inspiration. I'm glad that this is done so I can put it away and not have to think about it again unless I want to pull it out. But it's already documented, so I don't have to worry about trying to figure that out. So I will, I actually decided to put all of the paper that was left back in the kits that they were on. The only thing that I did was I decided that for the scraps I cut them out, and this is a tip from Nicole. I'll post her link below. I don't know if she actually did a video on it or if it's just something she talks about, but I'll just post her link below. What she does with her scraps is she'll cut them out using her Big Shot and some of her dies. So this is like an arrow that I can use anytime, and she puts all of them together. Let me see if I can get a close up. So there's probably 4 or 5 pieces there. Let me see if I can find another one. Here's a star. So you can kind of see the pieces in them. I'm hoping it's coming out for you guys. And so the benefit of this is I have some pre-made chipboard basically. So because I took my scraps and I punched them out with my punches, or I used my Big Shot to make these shapes, and then when I go to put them on my layout, I can just make one more and stick it right on top, and then it is a chipboard, faux chipboard shape. So that's what I did with all of like the little tiny pieces. Some of them, like this one here, I made it so that I might be able to use just that piece. That's a cool little piece there as a tag piece, or I can add to the top of it. So that I made and I will be using in future videos. I actually did it, kind of got carried away a little bit, and I went through a couple pieces of my scraps. Like this one wasn't in there, but I had this just a random piece of purple cardstock on my desk. So I was like, let me cut out some hearts with that. So, and here's an arrow. This is probably one of my favorite dies here, this arrow. So I tried to use paper at the top that was generic or neutral, so that I could use it just as it is if I didn't want to add paper to the top of it. Like I didn't want to actually take the time to cut out another piece. I could use this if I was looking for something navy. So I have made that with my extra, like the smaller scraps. Anything that was bigger than 4 by 12. I went ahead and put back into the kits that I took them out of. I know that that probably wasn't the idea behind this, but I did get a lot used. I got, you know, all of these layouts created, and this album is documented, so that was really my goal, was to get that completed. And I have another idea in the works for you guys, so I'm working on that. Hopefully get that up to you guys soon. And I think that is it. So I hope that everyone, again, enjoyed this series, and I hope that you guys are staying safe and healthy, and I will catch you on the next one.